I'm Abby. I've been helping organize the strike and the Line in the Sand event later today with Climate Action St. Andrews. I'm really concerned about climate change. We're having a strike, marching through town in solidarity with other places that are striking all around the world on this day. Then we're having a symbolic line in the sand on the beach. I think 5 minutes we're going to be standing in silence, some solemn bagpipe music in the background, looking into the sea, reflecting on climate change. We're going to be writing messages about climate change in the sand before that. That's going to be this big community event, very friendly for families, and I'm going to have some speeches as well. I think it's really important for people across the political spectrum to come for this. Whatever you think your issue is, whatever you think is wrong with the world, we're going to need time to fix it. And if we want that time, we need to do something about climate change.
Climate justice! It's going to be like the biggest climate strike that has ever happened in the world. So we're really hoping for a good turnout in St. Andrews as well. And it's going to start off with a strike, then we're going to lead down to the beach to form the line in the sand. And it's kind of a call for action, both in St. Andrews, but also for like governments, for politicians, for our institutions, our universities, our schools, like our fellow citizens, because we all need to work together for climate justice.
What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now!
The Amazon is burning, forests are being cleared, our waters are being poisoned, our air is being polluted. We have a right to stand up for it, our future is being traded, so we're here today to get our voices heard.
We have the petition for the university to declare a climate emergency, and then we're going to see obviously what the global movement is kind of like, what's happening and what kind of call for action we need, depending on what kind of political actions which is going to be taken the next few weeks, because obviously the big climate conference is coming up in New York, so we need to see what's coming up, what's being discussed there.
Let's make some noise, let's get our voices heard, but let's also have some fun, because we're actually, yes, we're carrying a serious message, but we also want to convince people with the energy and the mission that we have in changing the way this world works. Let's do this!
And I'm the Deputy Principal of the University, and I'd like to thank everybody for inviting me here today to speak to you and to share this day of action with you, because as a university we want to act together with you. So thank you to Climate Action for organising this event, and thank you to you for being here. You'll realise that it's part of my job to be absolutely horrified that some students might be skipping classes in order to attend. Wow. However, we understand that sometimes things are important enough for sacrifices and protests to be made. And as a university, we're really keen for people to get an education that makes them independent-minded and politically active, and to face the global challenges and tackle them properly, the ones that are the most pressing for us, among which I think we're all aware the climate emergency is one of the most pressing that we could possibly face. Woo! I want to say just briefly on behalf of the university that we are taking action. We've got all sorts of activities planned, we've signed up to the climate change goals, and we are enacting, not just talking about, those initiatives. One thing I particularly wanted to draw your attention to is some marvellous research that you might have read about in the press earlier this month by Dr. Thomas Oudman in the School of Biology. What Dr. Oudman discovered when he was discovering the migratory patterns of wild geese is that it's the young geese that are changing the patterns of migration in order to adapt to climate change. And the older adult geese are following the patterns taken by the younger ones. Think of yourselves as the people who are changing the patterns that are due to trends for which you are not responsible, but for which you will inherit the solutions in the future. and we're all counting on you to do that for all of us.
Today. Thank you for being on strike from university, from schools, but most of all, can we get a cheer for the nursery kids who have come out and joined us? Well done, guys. Although they did take a wee bit of a shortcut, but thank you. Climate change is happening now. It has to be the #1 political priority now. And you guys need to keep on coming out, keep on marching. This is real and it needs to be a priority. Action needs to be taken now. Keep us honest, keep us all honest. We need to work together. As well as being your MP, I'm the Vice Chair of the All-Party Group on Climate Change at Westminster. And we've not seen enough of a priority on this. I need more members in that group. I need more members taking this seriously. Guys, we need to work together on this, and we will be working together on this, and this is my #1 priority. That's my commitment to you. Thank you. I want to say special thanks to my kids for coming out. This is their future and it's your future. And I'm going to hand over to Willie Rennie now, and Willie Rennie and I are going to work together on this as well. This is cross-party, guys. Thank you.
This is probably the biggest demonstration we've seen in St Andrews for 20, 30, 40 years, and it's all down to you, so thank you. There is a big vote next week in the Scottish Parliament, and it's about this exact issue. It's the climate change bill. We want the government to go further and faster to make sure we treat climate change as the top priority. There are people in the world who disagree with you. There are people like Donald Trump who disagree with you. But for every Donald Trump in the world, there will be 100 of you speaking up against him. But it does not stop today. You need to make sure that you speak to everyone, not just everyone here, but everyone that you know, to make sure that they take individual decisions to change their way of life, to change climate change. That's the way we're going to defeat this, with action from everybody, right across the board. So your mission, every day that you wake up, you've got to think, what am I going to do personally to change and to stop climate change? And with all that action, that combined action, we can stop it. Thank you for coming today. It's been one of those great experiences. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony from St Andrews Space for Cycling. I'm so amazed as one of the older generation who's responsible for the problems of our planet. I'm so pleased and impressed to see the huge numbers here. I was very sad to receive a message from my granddaughter, my 13-year-old granddaughter in London this morning. She had sent a copy of the moving letter her friend had sent to the head of their school, following a refusal to allow them to attend the strike. And this letter explained why it was so important that they should do so. I know the solution to climate change, as expressed by Greta Thunberg, is to listen to the science and ensure that the government cuts its emissions. I want to point out one of the simplest ways that individuals can do this, by ending their use of fossil fuels in transport, which makes up approximately 1/3 of climate emissions. St Andrews Space for Cycling wants to make St Andrews the most cycle-friendly town in Scotland. We've got a long way to go. This morning I could not get past the huge crowds of cars coming in. It has to end. We can do it with your help. Come to our AGM on the 7th of November, when there will be a public meeting addressed by Sir Ian Boyd, a professor at St Andrews University, and the just retired chief scientist at the Department for the Environment, who in his last report spoke about the essential lifestyle changes which will be difficult but essential for us in the United Kingdom. Thank you for coming. Forward.